Welcome to today's episode from Field to Plate. It's an exciting day here today. We're actually doing a vegetarian jambalaya. Before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Larry Lewis. I'm the host from Field to Plate here on MTTV, and exciting for you guys to be in the kitchen with me this afternoon. Something really cool happened this week. I'm involved with the Sterville Outdoors Club, one in particular, the Appalachian Outdoorsman Association, nominated myself this show as Conservation Communicator of the Year. And we won this award from Kentucky Wildlife Federation Foundation, and it's actually the first type of award I've won with this show. And what's exciting about it is because most of y'all know that we use this show to communicate not only just like killing animals, and we don't want to communicate that way, but of what you harvest and take that you actually can turn into meals for you and your family, and educate the public on why wild game's good and all you can do with it. And my family and I, we eat a lot of wild game. My friends, from duck, deer, goose to whatever. So it's an honor and a privilege to win an award that shows communication that we actually put out there to the public through this show on educating people that may not hunt or sportsmen on actually what sportsman does, and don't get the bad rap of just trophy hunting, but we actually do eat our food, and there are tremendous many ways to cook wild game as we do on this show to do that. And not only wild game, but even harvesting mushrooms, foraging, whatever. So it's a great opportunity, great thing to show you guys, and I appreciate you all helping me win that award by having this show and tuning in and watching it. So today is something interesting. Vegetarian jambalaya. For all my vegetarian friends out there, I've had several ask me, why don't you just do vegetarian? And I was like, well, I should, because not everybody likes meat, and sometimes I'll go a week or two and not eat meat, just eat veggies and stuff like that. Not as often as I should, but I think it's healthy that if you can. So that's what this is. If you actually look, I got the Food Network app on my phone, and it's actually a messenger thing that you can get, and that's in your recipes. You can download them, and this is one that was sent last week, was vegetarian jambalaya. Well, when you open the app, it gives you an option of clicking on it to send the ingredients list to Walmart or a couple other places. And it'll actually send every ingredient you need for this recipe to there, and you can actually, like a click list, have it waiting on you, go and get it, or etc. However the local Walmart or area that you work at does. So it's really easy. It's really, you're like, well, I don't have time to plan big meals, and I don't have time to go shopping. Get this app. I'm not promoting a certain television station or nothing, but it's a cool app. Get it, use it, send it to Walmart, go and pick your list up, and you can actually enjoy a new recipe. So I thought it was pretty cool. Not every recipe has to be something that you make homemade, that you just, a lot of stuff I do is like that, but a lot of it's stuff other people's got and enjoys and already come up with. Why reinvent the wheel? Maybe throw a little extra spice on it or something. Pretty simple. We're going to put a couple tablespoons of oil in our pan. Okay, we got some, it just said recipe calls for chopped carrots in our pan. You can see, if you could hear it, it's actually searing. And so we take the 3 carrots, is what it calls for. It don't say large carrots, small carrots, so these is about medium-sized carrots. And I wash the carrot. I do not peel my carrots. When you start peeling some vegetables, it actually takes the nutrients off of it, or out of them. That's where the nutrients are in carrots. So to that, I need to turn my skillet back up because I turned it down while I was talking to you guys so it wouldn't get too hot. A few weeks ago, I actually did that. Left my skillet on high. I went to put something in it, and it was hot, needless to say. So, lesson learned. So on your celery, it don't have to be nothing special. Just cut it. Forgive my chopping skills. I'm kind of tight here on space. Just chop it up. Rough chop is what the recipe calls for. I think this is kind of like a rustic meal, which jambalaya is. I know today's jambalaya is actually a vegetarian one, but it would be so easy if you want to throw some shrimp in there, some hot sausage, some duck breast diced up, chicken diced up. I mean, just throw it in there and let it cook with it, and there you go. You got meat with it. Easy peasy, easy to do. So anyhow, we'll get our celery, carrots, rough chop. We're going to put them in there. Okay, and then it said on medium, half a medium onion, you leave it whole like that. So you're going to have some big bites of stuff in this dish. If you wanted it finer, I'm sure there ain't no issue with chopping it on up. I think this recipe is about presentation also. So just shred your carrots up, or your onions, do that. Make sure you always wash your hands before you get started. I know the heat kills germs, but we still want clean hands. So we actually, we're going to just cook this for a little bit. We're going to saute it down. You can see the pretty colors in that. Hit it a little bit of salt and pepper. I like using freshly ground salt and pepper. I just think the flavor's a whole lot better on it, personally. Sometimes on my smoker, I'll actually smoke peppercorns and have smoked pepper. So fresh ground salt and pepper. While we let these carrots cook up, we'll get our other stuff ready for this recipe. Our carrots, celery, and onions is cooked down about al dente, which is kind of like half soft, half hard. That's what you want. In this, we got a little bit of cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, fresh thyme, and a little more salt. You don't need all that salt. I put a little too much in there, so I'm going to take my spatula and just put in there what I want of this. And what you actually want to do is stir this in and just let the paprika and everything get a little brown. This is your seasoning. It called for a hot smoked paprika. If you can't find a hot smoked paprika, get regular paprika and just add a little cayenne pepper to it. Jambalaya, y'all might know or ask why we're all the time doing something south. Because a lot of my cooking influence comes from the south. I actually lived in Panama City Beach and Destin for about 5.5, 6 years, and that's where my wife's lived most of her life. So living down there, I traveled the coast a lot and worked in Louisiana and all the way over, and got half the time I was in Louisiana 1 week, next week I'd be beach. So needless to say, I got to eat a lot of Creole and New Orleans style food and really fell in love with it. So I tend to verge with those spices and everything in my cooking. Again, like I said, it'd be very easy to add pheasant, quail, duck, chicken, anything you want to this, and you want to add some meat. So if you look at that, you can see our seasoning, it's brown, and what you're looking for. So when it gets to that state, you want to add your bell peppers. You add them at this stage because it don't take as long for bell peppers to cook. So one medium red bell pepper. You want to coat your seasoning on it a little bit before we put everything else. 1 16-ounce can of fire roasted tomatoes with the juice. That gives it that much more flavor. And then we got some black eyed peas. Can of black eyed peas. We put our rice in there. We want to stir all this in together so it all gets coated good. If it's cooked, we'd already be eating it. It looks good. It smells great. I wish y'all could smell it. But you want to get all these flavors in together. You want your carrots, your peppers, onions, celery, rice, and get all those flavors coated on all of it. And it'll make it that much better. I love the smell of fire roasted tomatoes. Okay, to that we add 1.5 to 2 cups of water. That gives enough moisture for your rice to cook. We bring back to the boil. We'll reduce it down to medium, let it cook 15-20 minutes until it's finished. We're ready to plate up this vegetarian jambalaya. One thing that is not in that is okra. I couldn't get no fresh okra, so I substitute not to use it. I don't like using frozen okra once it unthaws, so that's why I chose that. You're more than welcome to, and the recipe does call for that. If, like I said before, if you want to add chicken, duck, quail, pheasant, whatever kind of meat to it, shrimp, hot spicy sausage, you can make it non-vegetarian. But I had several people ask about the show, why don't you never do nothing vegetarian? So my friends out there that likes vegetarian food, here's your vegetarian dish. Hope y'all enjoy it. To recap, this was a recipe off of an app I had that we spoke about earlier, that you can actually click on the app and it gives you you can click on send ingredients either to Walmart or a couple other places, and actually send all the ingredient lists it takes for that recipe to click list or whatever at Walmart, and you can actually just go and pick it up. So if you get the app, has a recipe on it, you can actually click it, say, well, I don't have time to shop for it, just run through at a certain time, get your ingredients, take it home and cook it. To plate this up, it's a 1 pot, 1 meal. We actually put it on one of our big serving dishes. And I've already pre-tested it, so it is good. It's got a little bit of a kick with the cayenne pepper, and you can taste all the vegetables in it really well. I do miss the meat. Sorry, my vegetarian friends, but I'm a meat eater. But it's still really good. I'd cook it again. And hope you enjoy. It does call for some celery leaf, and that's just a garnish put on top of it when you're done. And this is your actual meal. So if you look at it, what don't fall off. This recipe, along with all the other recipes, or 90% of recipes we've cooked on here, will be on the website on MTTV, on the Mountain Telephone website, and then they have a link that you can actually go into the cooking shows, etc., and download the recipes or look at the recipes and look at episodes. Several of the episodes also on YouTube if you missed them. I want to thank you all for joining in from Field to Plate on this episode. Look forward to y'all being in the kitchen with us on the next one. Until then, I'd like to tell you goodbye. Get out in the field, get out in the woods, water with a kid, with somebody, have some fun, catch some fish, and cook it up. Hi, welcome to this segment of Field to Plate with Larry Lewis. I'm the host, Larry. So you might want to know where I get a lot of my vegetables from. If it doesn't come from the garden, obviously only other place I like to shop is here at Fannon's Vegetables on Highway 460 here, right outside West Liberty. All summer long they have an awesome arrangement of vegetables. You can get sometimes you get herbs, lettuce. They always have corn, tomatoes, beans, cantaloupe, watermelons, you name it. Squash in the fall, you can get it here. So it's a great opportunity for my show to be able to come in and get some locally grown produce for the show. And to follow up, we actually just did a vegetable show, which was a vegetable jambalaya, and the corn for it actually come from here, and it was some of the best corn I've had in a long time. Real fresh, awesome corn. Got some cucumbers, tomatoes, and that's what we look for in the shows, just the freshness of the vegetables. We like to do it local. We like to keep it around our surrounding area if we can. So many fond memories of garden vegetables. You know, since I was little and growing up, we always grew a garden and harvested, and you know, it's just part of life, and I take it for granted. And on the flip side of that, with my kids, you know, as they got older, they wasn't used to growing up that. So when we grew a garden, it was, you know, they're used to it now, but they was like, you know, my wife comes from Florida. She's like, why you grow a garden? You can just go to the store and get it. Well, it didn't take her long, us getting vegetables here at the market or growing them in the garden, that she figured out why I don't like going to the supermarket to buy vegetables. You just can't get the freshness and the goodness that you can from locally grown vegetables. And that's what makes our show unique, is it's from field to plate, and it's not that you're all the time, not just, you know, you're not going to Kroger's, Walmart buying your vegetables. We go to where they're raised or grown. We don't do them ourselves, buy them, and you get the real from field to plate experience. It's not only about just going out buying meat or killing meat and game, that we also want to emphasize that the vegetables that we use on it. So, I mean, those that can't grow a garden, maybe you're in an area to where you just don't have the land or resources to grow it, I'd highly recommend to come to vegetables, or come to Fannon's Vegetables or Fannon's Market to get those items. Sometimes it rains too much and your garden doesn't do good, so you need stuff to can or whatever. They can take care of bulk items also, so it's great for our community, great for a location that we live in, that we have access to this. On Wednesday evenings or Thursday evenings before we do the show, all I have to do is come here and grab some vegetables, go on over there and cook, and it just works out really great. I hope you like the segment that we did from vegetable jambalaya. It has no meat, which we usually, every course we do has meat in it, but I wanted to do something for vegetarian friends to actually showcase vegetables, and I think we did it well with that recipe. We did it well with that show. So thank you for tuning in. Thanks for coming here to the Fannon's Vegetables with me, so I can show you all this nice produce and where that produce comes for that show in particular. And if you need any of your items, you need anything, this is a great place to come shop and grab those at. Thanks for tuning in, Field to Plate.